Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
It's now 7:07, 27th day of August here in your nation's capital, as we have a front row seat to the golden age, as we like to call it. Coming up at 8:05, Gordon Chang is going to explain to us why it's just fine to have 600,000 Chinese national students coming into our colleges and universities. Or he might say, no, not so good. Either way, we'll talk about it with Gordon. And then at 8:35, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen, he's asking the EPA to stop funding a group that basically the tip of the spear on climate lawfare. And they're doing it with your tax dollars. We'll get into all of that coming up a little later. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Julie.
Good morning.
Hop two now. We've got a member of the administration joining us. We got to be on our best behavior. He is the Assistant Secretary for the Administration for Children and Families at the Health and Human Services Department, Andrew Gradison. Mr. Assistant Secretary, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you this morning.
Listen, I know that you've got a very busy agenda there with Secretary Kennedy and with President Trump, sort of putting a top concern in terms of health in this country on our children and on families and promoting healthy children and families. What you've now announced with regard to gender ideology in sex education curriculum is so important. And I think people will be surprised to learn that 40 states and 6 territories have objectionable gender ideology embedded in their sex ed content. And first of all, I don't even remember the public debate about including these materials in the curriculum.
There's never been a debate on this. And what Secretary Kennedy and President Trump have instructed us to do is to make America healthy again. And part of that is focusing on the next generation. It's making sure that kids the next generation doesn't suffer from childhood obesity, childhood cancer, neurodevelopmental disorders. But it's also about not poisoning the minds of the next generation with anti-scientific lies about who they are and how they should be raised. So this was never a discussion until recently, but we reviewed every state's sex ed curriculum under the Personal Responsibility Education Program. This is a program that is supposed to teach children the importance of abstinence and also the benefits of contraception to not get STDs. And instead what we found was in 40 states, they were teaching children that boys can be girls and girls could be boys. And we found horrific examples. Some of them are worse than others. In Washington, D.C., it was outright political propaganda. They asked their teens to name the different kinds of discrimination and barriers in healthcare experienced by LGBTQIA plus youth. And they go on to ask students to guess which states they think discriminate against LGBTQIA plus people in their curriculum.
Propaganda.
So
and
this is...
Yeah, it's outrageous. Mr. Gradison, I want to hand it off to Julie, but can I just follow up? I just want to be clear on this. They were using grant money from the federal government that is supposed to go to abstinence instruction and abstinence education, and they were using that to push gender ideology?
Washington, D.C., Maryland, West Virginia, and 37 other states were pushing gender ideology using federal taxpayer dollars.
Wow.
For a program that's designed to teach abstinence.
It's supposed to be about abstinence.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right.
All right.
Secretary Gradison, it's also now very common for schools to take away the opt-out option. There was a court case here in Maryland about that, and fierce fight to allow parents to opt their children out. But it was really interesting. The coalition was made up of all sorts of different religions and different ethnicities. These parents came together again to demand that they be allowed to do that. And that's happening nationwide. Is there an effort also from your agency on trying to battle these schools so that parents can opt their kids out?
our focus is on protecting the next generation and making sure that parents have a right, that parents understand what's going on in their classrooms and can opt their children out of materials if they don't like what's being taught in the classroom. My first step here is we reviewed the curriculum. We're going to give every state that has gender ideology in their sex ed curriculum 60 days. So they have 59 more days to correct their materials. All they have to do is go back to the basics, teach abstinence and contraception without an ideological bend, and then the program can continue. But if they fail to make those corrections, they will lose their federal funding.
So I have to ask, because you labeled this gender ideology content in sex ed materials as anti-science, but I know that you're going to get the American Pediatrics and the American Medical Association and the American Psychological Association. They're all going to say, oh, no, this is all rooted in science. This is all rooted in fact. What's that battle looking like right now? Because I'm sure you're already getting the pushback.
Well, there was a bombshell report yesterday from sort of a video exposing the American Medical Association's take on gender ideology and recognizing that this is anti-science, that this is more of a profit-driven motive by certain medical professionals to indoctrinate the next generation and get them hooked on to treatments that will last their entire lives, that will eliminate their ability to have children in the future. To think that a sex ed program is teaching children that they should be on hormones or that they should get surgeries that will eliminate their ability to have children later in life is horrific.
Yeah, I want to drive down a little bit on that bombshell video secretly recorded of the president of the American Medical Association, essentially saying that he's going to ignore the CAS review. He's going to ignore an HHS report that debunks this idea that transgender care is good for kids. I love this. I'm using that with quotes. He essentially admitted that he disregards these reviews and these reports and these scientific studies, and he listens to pro-transgender doctors to set AMA policies. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, that is a serious problem within the AMA.
This is a setback for medicine. If they're not going to listen to the CAS report or to the latest and best scientific evidence that the Department of Health and Human Services has assembled on the harms, the long-term irreversible harms that come along from these gender transition treatments, then what good is the American Medical Association?
Good question. Real fast, since this is Virginia is not on the list, and that's good to hear. But within the sound of our voice here on the 105.9 FM signal, Maryland, D.C., and West Virginia are. And, of course, if you're listening on the Internet, it's pretty much, it's 40 states. Can you tell me what happens now in these 60 days? If Maryland decides, to heck with you, we're more interested in this, well, what is the repercussion?
Well, if Maryland refuses to correct their materials and focus on science, medically accurate and age-appropriate materials for their students, then they could lose nearly $2.5 million in federal funding. The District of Columbia, it's more than $400,000, and West Virginia, it's more than $500,000 that they could stand to lose. And this isn't. We're not playing around here. We started with California and examined their materials. We gave them 60 days to correct them. They told us they weren't going to, and their position was that transgender ideology is medically accurate, age appropriate, and that the federal government had to continue paying for these materials. We told them no, and we pulled back $12.3 million from the state. So this is not an empty threat. If Maryland or West Virginia fail to correct their materials, they'll lose their federal funding.
California is in the FO stage, then, is what you're telling us. Good. All right, we got to leave it. I'm sorry, really quickly. They took this money. This is federal grant money, and it's supposed to be specifically for abstinence instruction, and they're using it for something else. Isn't that fraud? Yeah. Shouldn't there be some sort of repercussions just for that? Forget about cutting off the funding. They should be punished.
Well, and I think you make a very important point here. This is not a new policy. This isn't a new law. The personal responsibility education program has been on the books since 2010. We aren't changing the interpretation. All we did was ask questions about what was actually being funded through the program. And what we found was shocking, and it was everywhere. And it's a reflection of what the last administration was pushing on all 50 states at all times.
Yeah, it sounds like the misuse of federal funds, and there should be further actions. But at the very least, we're cutting them off. Thank you, Andrew Gradison, HHS Assistant Secretary. I appreciate it.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Taylor Swift is engaged. Taylor Swift is engaged. This, come back to me. She just posted it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, it's huge. The ring is ginormous. This is so exciting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's on her Instagram. It's on her Instagram. It's on her Instagram. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That is CBS White House correspondent Olivia Rinaldi, not on the air. She was live on a feed back to the studio, but not on the air, as she in real time reacted to seeing the news on her Instagram that Taylor Swift was engaged. She's a very serious reporter covering the White House and politics and President Trump and his administration.
Why do I have a feeling this woman will go immediately on camera and say, our democracy is dying, and be very serious about that. But oh my God.
This is why the White House Correspondents Association must be taken seriously. They demand to be taken seriously.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Not
It's
again.
on her Instagram. It's on her Instagram.
Not
it's
again.
on her Instagram. Oh my God. 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 I feel.
Are we done?
We're done with her, but it is big news. We're not trying to downplay. We just do find it amusing that grown adult women react like they're 13 years old again. That said, Taylor Swift is now officially engaged to Travis Kelce, and already the speculation begins. When will she have her first of 18 children? Very excited about the big family there. What? They should have as many babies as they can.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
I want the wedding to be at halftime at the Super Bowl, but in a proper church.
Just lower one.
Yeah, absolutely. They can construct a church right in the middle of the field there.
If
and
the Queen
Lord knows,
can jump out of a helicopter, they can drop.
Kelce won't be playing in the game because his game is gone to hell ever since they started dating. Just imagine what this is going to do for him.
Well, now he's a podcaster, Larry. He's got a future.
Yeah, that's what we need. President Trump.
You've lost it.
President Trump, during his cabinet meeting yesterday, was asked about this because the news broke during the cabinet meeting. So, here's Trump talking about, peace in Ukraine and Israel and the taxes.
And then they hear Olivia going crazy outside the window, and they're like, we got to stop everything because Olivia's losing her mind.
Everyone, quiet. We've got huge news. We need President Trump to respond to it. And he played along. Here's cut 20.
To ask you a serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck.
Oh.
I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
Now, I think very classy, very well done. Yeah.
It's times like this that I really miss Joan Rivers and her calm down. Everyone calm down. Seriously.
No. Let's not forget James Comey, former FBI director and I believe potential criminal felon. He's a huge Swift fan, Taylor Swift fan. Just last week, he posted a selfie video on his Instagram accounts, waxing poetic about T Swift. Take a listen.
I'm in a family's Swiftie group chat. I know all her music, and I listen to it in my headphones when I cut the grass.
He was listening to Taylor Swift as he was walking on the beach, and he found those seashells.
I've done a lot of thinking about that Comey recording, and I actually think he's setting himself up for insanity. defense.
The insanity plea.
I mean, I don't understand.
When Kash Patel knocks down his door with the summons.
And his lawyer's going to go, there needs to be some leniency. He's obviously insane. And I fully believe this.
Babylon B, though, has announced that the Taylor Swift engagement has been overturned. Referee determined that Travis Kelce's knee did not touch the ground.
Okay, and that is in reference to pictures of the actual engagement, which I have to say, very traditional. Surrounded by flowers, an army of assistants obviously set up this little engagement scene, right? Not exactly an organic, we're on a hike, we find this tree stump surrounded with flowers. But it was very nice, and then he got down on one knee, and there was an embrace. It was very sweet. But we have to celebrate that it was
wearing shorts. He was wearing shorts.
You're so obsessed. It's
Be a man.
It's
no
hot.
Grown men wear pants. Boys wear shorts.
Okay, George Will. Good God, calm down.
I've got more Babylon B. Travis Kelce wonders if it's too late to ask Taylor Swift if she's the one who sings "Wrecking Ball." Hold on, one more. Travis Kelce says he'll write his own wedding vows as soon as he learns how to spell psyched. All right. Oh, and this just in. Oh, my gosh. Breaking. James Comey has posted his own video now reacting to the news.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's on her Instagram. Oh, my God.
James Comey, ladies and gentlemen. We wish Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift the best. We do. And we're really excited about the breakup and the divorce because that's going to be epic.
Stop.
No, I'm kidding.
Terrible.
We wish them the best. A long and healthy wedding with lots of kids, long, healthy marriage. We are rooting for them. We're praying for them. We're praying for him.
Calm down.
It's 7:24.
Coming up, it looks like Cracker Barrel is reversing course. We've got the latest. Keep it here. 7:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37 now on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here to a busy Wednesday morning. Coming up a little later at 8:05, Gordon Chang will shed some light on the Trump administration's curious decision to allow 600,000 Chinese nationals come to our colleges. And then at 8:35, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen on some issues at the EPA and what he and other attorney generals are trying to get accomplished there with regard to climate propaganda. That's all coming up. Right now, though, I'm Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Morning, Julie.
Good morning.
It's been a good 15 minutes, so we have to jump right back into the Taylor Swift thing. No, I'm kidding. We're just utilizing her fine music to explain to you that Cracker Barrel is feeling the heat, feeling the pressure, and they finally succumbed yesterday. Succumbed. Sure, succumbed. They announced, just hours after President Trump jumped on board and chimed in through social media to tell Cracker Barrel that they should go back to the old logo, they did just that. They reversed course. Do you think this whole thing was a publicity stunt? I mean, to get everybody talking about Cracker Barrel?
I think it was genuine stupidity. And Asra Nomani, our friend Asra, has this incredible write-up at Fox News sort of talking about how the CEO was warned by one of their biggest investors. He's got a really incredible story. He's a legal Iranian immigrant to this country and worked in his family's carpet business, import carpet business, and then grew up to run an investment company. And boy, he's a huge investor in Cracker Barrel, and he had been warning them, I think, for the better part of several years, saying, you guys don't need a total rebrand. You need an overhaul in different areas. And again, I urge everybody to read, Asra Nomani, what an incredible writer she is, an investigator. And she worked for the Wall Street Journal, so she has a real nose for these financial stories and business stories. And so I don't think it was a stunt. I think this was genuinely a bad decision on the part of this fairly new CEO who probably is updating her resume at the moment. And I'm glad that Cracker Barrel has look. They took Uncle Herschel. The thing that bothers me the most is they took that Uncle Herschel, that dude sitting by the barrel. It's a real guy.
Yeah.
And this sort of remake was just so wildly unnecessary. So yeah, I think this was a true mistake of the Bud Light fashion.
Right up there with Bud Light. Not as offensive as Bud Light, certainly, but certainly tone deaf in terms of your base customers. Are they going to change are they going to keep the interior of the stores, though? Because they still look like a lobby from a really bland Marriott Courtyard or something. I've got a Cracker Barrel finally being built near where I live, and we've been very excited about this, a brand new Cracker Barrel. But now it's like, oh, it's going to be one of the new Cracker Barrels. And
I'm going to admit something, Larry. I don't eat at Cracker Barrel. Even on road trips, we don't really go. I've gone a few times years and years ago. I had a perfectly fine meal. I didn't like most of the stuff in the gift store, which everybody talks about. But the bottom line is that it's popular with people because it has that old-timey feel. I do recall the servers being so nice and so
really
kind.
Nice.
So I think they have real problems that need to be addressed. I just don't think changing the interior is the answer. And again, Ostra kind of talks about how that investor warned them about that. You're not addressing the core issues here. You're putting sort of a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Yeah, I commend this article to you, Osra Nomani at Fox Business, because it is brutal, this behind-the-scenes breakdown of what really transpired. And you're right, there are definitely problems in the C-suite there. Also, it appears that quite possibly President Trump's comment on this really did make a difference. Deputy Chief of Staff Taylor Budowich said on social media that he was approached with a phone call by Cracker Barrel, who thanked President Trump for weighing in on the issue, on the logo, and wanted to thank the president to know that they heard him along with the customer response, and they'd be restoring the old-timer. So now here's the thing. I think they may have gone too far. I've seen a mock-up of the new revised original logo now. They're not exactly just going back to the original with Uncle Herschel and the little tagline, Old Country Store. Yeah, no, they've actually added that says Cracker Barrel, Uncle Herschel's there in the chair with the barrel, Old Country Store, and then in smaller words underneath it says, a storm is coming, trust the plan, with a big Q next to it. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds kind of ominous. I don't know.
Maybe the lady with the big glasses is leaving. Maybe that's what it means. Look, I also want to say to corporations, don't hire women with big glasses. Okay, you're asking for trouble. Okay, Larry, I brought my big glasses to wear.
It really triggers me when you put those on. Don't.
This look is bad. Okay, this look do not hire. Especially, I got to tell you, blondes with big glasses.
No, I know You put those on, and I immediately imagine you holding a racist sign at a school board meeting when Winsome Sears shows up. You've got to post a picture of yourself in those glasses. I
can't.
Everybody knows.
It's horrifying. I told you this yesterday. My
we're only on radio right now, right?
Yes, I know. Okay, fine, but I can't post it because I used to wear these because they're one of those computer glare glasses, and my husband was like, I don't find you attractive when you wear those glasses.
Oh, I love Darren's so subtle.
Okay. He's so subtle. So they went in a drawer, but I took them out for this because I thought it was appropriate that I wear them when we're talking about Cracker Barrel.
You do. You look like a woke leftist Democrat suburban mom CEO that ruins a major corporation's brand.
There you go.
Or as your husband would call those glasses, reverse Viagra. It's 7:43. Well, no one is more upset about the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift engagement than Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Why, you may ask? Well, because yesterday was supposed to be her day. Yes. It was the launch of season 2 of their Netflix docudrama series. They really got a second season out of this, huh?
I know. It's weird. I don't understand why. The first season was panned. Hardly watched.
It made her look terrible.
And it was so false. I mean, she has people that she pays to do her hair on as supposed friends. She sort of chided Mindy Kaling for saying Meghan Markle. Anyway, the whole thing was bizarre.
Yes, call me Megan Sussex. But of course, all of the news about her season 2 on Netflix got trampled by the much bigger story that Taylor Swift is engaged. So there's going to be bad blood there, as they say. That said, Julie, I was fascinated by your thread that you did on the X social media platform, where you you analyzed a moment during an interview that the Prince and Meghan Markle had with Jane Pauley, where she talked about an issue that's important to her. She claims it has to do with young people and online bullying. But tell me what you learned here.
Yeah, so about a year ago, she and her husband, Harry, sat down with Jane Pauley to discuss this new organization that they launched called the Parents Network. And if you go to the Parents Network website, it's obviously not updated. It's sort of this weird, when you usually go to an organization and you click on the 3 little lines and you can go to our history and our staff and our leadership and there's none of that. There's no staff. It's just one of these websites that has a couple things to see, some stories. They say stories of our families. Now, this Parents Network is dedicated to online bullying. This is really important. And young people who are bullied online, and some may attempt suicide or actually commit suicide. And so she and Harry are really going to work to combat this. Fast forward to the launch of her new show. I'm not sure which episode it is, but one of her, her show is all based on friends come over and she cooks for them, right? Yeah. And one of the people that she has on is this model named Chrissy Teigen, who's married to John Legend. Chrissy Teigen, a couple years ago, was involved in one of the most notorious online bullying scandals. Okay, she was horrible to a 16-year-old. Sort of this sad story. She ended up becoming kind of a child bride. She married a 50-something-year-old man. She was 16 or 17. Her mother sort of gave her permission to marry this guy. Courtney Stodden, I think, was her name. Anyway,
I remember.
Chrissy Teigen both publicly and privately bullied her to an extent that this poor young girl at 16. So at this point, Chrissy Teigen was probably in her late 20s or early 30s, and she said things like, "I can't wait for you to take a mud nap," which is code for suicide, meaning buried and you're sleeping in the ground. And then privately said some other pretty heinous things to this young woman. Again, she was 16 years old. So we have one of Meghan's guests is Chrissy Teigen, who just a couple years ago was caught. And by the way, she was caught. It went public. All of the threats, all of the horrible things that Chrissy Teigen said to Chrissy Stodden, this young girl. It all went public. And yet Meghan is now hosting her on her show. I mean, that is so bizarre. Is nobody in Meghan's orbit to say, this might look bad for the Archwell Foundation, this like fake organization that she and Harry run, which is basically just a way of a source for them to get investors and money. Very Clinton
and preen
Foundation.
and sit in front of a camera wringing her hands about how much she cares.
Yes.
So her big issue is online bullying, and she's featuring her pal, a notorious online bullier.
Yes.
Who told Courtney
gross.
Stodden that she should kill herself. By the way, fast forward, I don't know if you know the latest on Courtney Stodden. She now identifies as non-binary and is a they/them.
This girl, obviously, the minute she got on the scene with this older husband of hers, you could tell this was not a young woman who.
Yeah, but somebody famous telling her on social media that she should kill herself certainly doesn't help her emotional
that's
stability.
True. Yeah, no, absolutely. This girl had a rough go of it, but Chrissy Teigen is one of the most disgusting individuals in Hollywood, and she is a proven online bullier. And she's Meghan's bestie.
She's Meghan's best friend. You keep her name out of your mouth. She's Meghan Markle's best. And that's Meghan Sussex, by the way.
That's right.
7:54.